Just want to tell Aunt Joseph, you guys watch this stream later when you're older. I hope you enjoy spending some time with Dad. I love you, and I wish we could go fishing more and more. Let's just do some ultralight fishing first. And then when we have some people in the chat, we'll stop showing Topwater. Hey Demon, what's up, man? See, I got you out there. It's a little, we got a storm going on. But I just felt like fishing, so what are you gonna do? No guarantees on catching fish today. How are you doing? My very close friend just came back from Poland. He was in Rzeszów for 2 years. I just saw him yesterday. I told him there's a kid that watches my streams from Poland. All right, let's see. How's everything going? I was hoping for some bite. We have a crazy storm in the area. Not much rain, but the winds are pretty high up. Nice. What kind of rod you bought? How long? I guess you guys have like 2 meter rods. You measure in centimeters, right? Pretty dead today. We do have 3 people in the chat. All right, I do see a free gift over there. I see somebody's bobber. You guys want to go with me and go and get it? Hold on. I see some free stuff hanging around the trees. That's how you know you're fishing in a popular spot. But yeah, tell me what kind of rod you got. Hold on. I'm about to go on a mission. Give me some free gear. You see that? There's one hanging right there. Obviously, no, where is it? Oh, no, lower. Right. See, there's a bobber right there. See that thing? Okay. How you doing, Drock? We're fishing for whatever bites. We're in Jersey. It's a bit of a storm. But first, I'm gonna collect the free lure I just saw on the tree. Hold on. Let's see what kind of setup these guys were throwing, and maybe we can critique it. Oh, I can't believe you didn't go and get this. Grand P. Orker got your stuff. Look at that. We got a hook. This is like a cartoon. We found a hook. We found the weight. We got the bobber, baby. All right, let me take this off without damaging the tree. Hold on. So yeah, we got a... Look at this. I'm telling you, it's like a cartoon character. I was fishing with this. I don't know who was doing this, but I got your stuff, man. I'll probably put it on the fishing rod and keep fishing with it. 1 second, guys. I might as well get the line out so it doesn't damage the tree. But I always find stuff when I come fishing here. Look, we got the weight, we got the bobber. That's how Grumpy Orca finds free stuff all the time. See this? Kapow! I mean, it looks like, but nobody ate the worm, so these guys are probably fishing here. This is nasty. Free stuff. Savage Gears SG2 distance game, 9'4". Nice. That's a nice look. That rod sounds nice. How you doing, Drac? Yeah, so I do fish this place, catfish. We do have a lot of bullheads in here, but there's even more snapping turtles than bullheads here. And me and my kids usually end up pulling out snapping turtles instead of fish. don't know why there's so many of them, but let me tell you, I would not be going swimming in this pond for sure. Let me put this away. I have a box where I put all my finders keepers crap. Later, me and my kids can throw this into our other gear. This is the one I found. A lot of the stuff is just crap I find when I fish. What kind of catfish do you fish for? Yeah, snapping turtles, definitely a pain. And there's some big ones around here. So, my last stream I lost a chopper because I was an idiot. Sorry to use that word, but it's true. So this time I'm using a smaller chopper. I think this is either 75 millimeter Berkeley chopper in bone color. And I brought 2 rods with me today. I still want to catch my first fish on a chopper. No, I'm not even gonna throw it far. I know there's big fish around here. I just haven't caught them yet. But that chopper sure makes a lot of bubbles. I just don't want to toss it on a tree, because I'm not down with that. I'm wearing we have a storm incoming, so I'm wearing my boots today. Nice blue catfish, Arkansas River. 45 pounds, dude. You beat my PB by about 40 pounds right there, as far as catfish goes. But yeah, this pond here, we're fishing in Jersey. At this point right now, we're about 2 miles away from the Trout National Golf Course. Oh, hold on, fish, holy crap. Oh, get some. That's my first topwater fish. How you doing today? Oh man, that's a fish, boys. Oh, he traveling now. Oh, it's a bass. Say what? First cast, Grand Piorca got you some. Daggone, I be damned. Here's the problem though. It's in his gills. I hate this. It's a nice bass though. All right, we got a situation out here. God damn it. Yeah, this fish probably gonna die. I wish I didn't even catch him. I don't like killing fish. Hold on. Let me open my bail. Of course, my first fish on a chopper, and it's probably gonna die. There you go. Yeah, it is official. Man, you know what? I'd be much happier if I could just release this fish safely, but I don't think he's gonna make it, because the treble hook went right into his gills. And man, let me see. Now, once it's in the gills, yeah, it's game over. Let me try. I don't want to put it on the stream. All right, so I took it out of the gills. But that was crazy. That was a nice bite. I think he might be okay, because I don't see him bleeding. I'm instantly becoming happier. But this is the first fish. This is the first bass I ever caught on a chopper here. I never used chopper before. Oh, of course, Grumpy Orca sloppy. All right, let's let him go. He's fine. Look, he's all right. All right, fingers crossed. We're fishing in Jersey. That was the first fish I caught on a chopper. We did lose the chopper on the last stream. We're fishing in New Jersey, just to answer people. Yeah, it's definitely a small one, but if you don't know how I fish, Grumpy Orca is not a big-time bass fisherman. That's the first time I actually caught a fish on topwater in quite a few weeks. I do use small frogs. I love those. But that's good. The topwater bite is on today. I couldn't believe it, actually. I'm going to answer your comments in a sec. And that was actually a healthy looking bass. What I don't like about this pond is there's a lot of muck here. So I don't use baitcasters. This is just this is actually my kid's saltwater setup. It has 15-pound brace. This is a Daiwa BGM Q3000D. We've used this rod to fish for fluke, but it's really nice, and I really like it. I don't use baitcasters. I did just buy a braid. I do have a baitcaster that I kind of failed to learn how to use. That was cool though. I caught a fish on a top water in the stream. That was pretty awesome. That usually doesn't happen to me. Hold on, so you guys can see it. All right. Thanks for the comments. I appreciate you. Good luck fishing. That was nuts though. Oh, let me read the comments real quick. Hey, SB Bros. Yeah, we just caught a bass on a small chopper at Topwater, and he survived. I was worried because it went into his gills. If you want to catch pike and pond, we use at least two methods. First method, using spinning rods with jig head and twister lure. Heavy rods and live fish. Yeah, Demon. To answer your question, I can see how you catch pike with the live bait. They love lesbian. Hey, Shadow. Thanks for commenting, buddy. So yeah, Sharp Farmer 7. Yeah, I did say your name, Shadow. All right. So, anyways, to respond to the gamer about baitcasters. So, I do have an Abu Garcia 7-footer. I do have a 7-footer combo with a baitcaster. I tried using it. I failed. I'm going to admit to that. I always say I screwed up, but I kind of stopped using it after that. I just bought braid for it. I think the best thing to use in the baitcaster is braid, but before you start listening to any advice I give you about baitcasters, let's say stop and watch a bunch of videos from guys that actually know how to use them, because I failed. I just bought braid today for my other baitcaster. I'm going to try it out again. But yeah, baitcaster for me has been a pretty terrible experience. I just don't have the patience. Okay, that's smart. Don't put the full spool on. That is actually great advice. I'm gonna learn from you. That is smart, because last time I think the reason I was so my biggest issue was why was I getting frustrated, because I was constantly getting a backlash and it was nesting my reel. And I remember, like, you take your reel, I would take it out to the a pretty far spots. I would walk out with it. I would backlash it right away. So now I'm stuck with a reel and rod that I can't use. And I just said, listen, maybe it's not for me. But that was pretty cool. We caught a bass on the Topwater, boys. And it's middle of October. I kind of cast it where I grabbed that bass, so maybe I will catch another one. I do think I know there's chain pickerel in this pond. We're gonna change the spot, but I'm so excited I actually caught something on a chopper. Well, some people told me to use a smaller chopper. I went on Amazon, there was a deal on the bigger one, so I built the bigger ones. But the small people were like, buy the smaller one, you'll catch smaller fish, but you'll catch them more consistently, and that's what I did. You can stay around, that's cool. Oh yeah, Gail, I know. Coolest thing I ever caught? I'll tell you. Well, it wasn't me, it was my kid. We were in Iceland and we caught a huge Arctic char by a complete accident. And we ate it. Because Iceland has a lot of Arctic char. I didn't feel better about it. But that was by far the coolest fish we caught. I think if we tried for the next 5 years, we would not catch a Arctic char that big. They're kind of like a cross between a trout and a salmon. And they were amazing. They kind of taste closer to salmon. But yeah, that was the coolest fish we caught. My kid caught. Coolest fish I personally caught. I don't know. I'll tell you, if today I catch a chain pickerel on this, or a pike, that would be the coolest fish I ever catch in my life. I don't think I'm going to catch a pike, but might catch a chain pickerel. All right, we're going to move to the right a little bit. Let me just cast one more time. We're fishing in Central Jersey, right by Bedminster. Like, if I'm in a very public spot, I don't mind telling you where I fish. Like, it's not like I'm a celebrity or something. But yeah, we're fishing Central Jersey. like Somerset County area. Not the best fishing spot in the world, but it's close to my house. I can go run out here, fish with you guys, learn something from you. Maybe I can teach you something real quick and run home. Usually by 3 o'clock p.m. I turn into a pumpkin because I got to get my kids. All right, so we did find a nice bobber weight and a hook setup. Let's see if we can find something else. Who doesn't speak English? All right, Shadow, take it easy. I appreciate it. Thanks again for hanging out. Got it, Bavarian Sky. I'm going to go in the water for a little bit. Nice. 31-pound salmon. Ah, man, you're going to put me to shame. I never even caught a salmon in my life. Just to respond to Azucena Barca. It's fine if you don't speak English, man. There was a time in my life I didn't speak English. It's all good. Maybe I can teach you something. I wish I spoke a different language that you would understand, but you can always learn. Don't give up. My mom learned to speak English when she was 50. So, and she worked as a nurse. So yeah, you can learn any time in your life. So I'm going to go in the water with my cool Amazon boots, and I'm going to try to cast to the right a little bit, right along the weed line. It's not really a weed line, but I just hope I don't get eaten by a snapping turtle. But yeah, at this point, I'm going to start wearing overalls, or at least rain boots, because it's getting cold out here. Last stream we went out to Sandy Hook, and you saw me shivering on the stream. I was literally shaking. Hold on. All right. Hey, Tolly, how you doing, man? 22-pound flathead catfish. That's awesome, man. You guys are just embarrassing me out here with my tiny bullhead catfish I could catch. Tolly, we caught a bass on Topwater, dude. I couldn't believe it, and I'm pretty sure he survived. I kind of hooked him in the gills a little bit, but we released him cleanly. He wasn't bleeding. So I'm hoping that, I was kind of upset that I hooked the fish bad, but I think he's going to make it. We caught him on the chopper on the second cast of the day. Hold on. I'm just going to let it sit there for a little bit. But I think people told me that you use Topwater in the windy conditions like today. We still have the nor'easter storm rolling through New Jersey. They told me it's a better chance of catching something. So if I don't respond to you guys right away, I'm sorry. It's kind of hard to fish and do the chat, but I'm usually pretty good about doing both. But I will read all your comments. All right, so we're going to do one more cast and change the spot. I think I said that about 5 times already. I'm going to cast it out and read the chat. Hold on. Okay, that's a good throw right there. Hold on. I'm going to let it sit there. 204 people watching. I know, man. Must be my personality. Definitely not my looks. All right, let's see. So yeah, there's a couple of different ways to use Topwater. Right now, I'm just I'm stopping and I'm doing the jig after a stop, and sometimes just going straight. So I'm going to cast one more time over there. That's going to be my 5th last cast at this location. You know, I really want to remove that branch for the people that come here in the future, because that's going to snag a lot of hooks. Yeah, but I don't want to go too far out there. Get eaten by a snapping turtle. I appreciate the likes. If you guys want to like, you just double tap the screen. Yeah, we're bass fishing with a crankbait, Holly. Topwater. That's exactly where I caught that bass about 20 minutes ago. We're fishing. What's his name? What's his name? What are you talking about? Hold on. I was fishing yesterday early in the storm near you. Yeah, it was terrible. I went out fishing on the stream. I was crappie fishing on the stream, but instead I was catching bass. Like crappie and panfish were just dead on Sunday morning. They were just, or even Saturday. They were just not biting at all. All right, let's change our location real quick. Yeah, but you can still do topwater fishing based. Like, I'm not an expert. I just see people still catching fish with topwater. We just caught one today. And I guess, you know, you can also catch pike on the topwater. All right. Here we go. Let me grab my tools. I'm just gonna pop my tool. For those of you that knew, I absolutely love my Walmart $29 Coleman backpack for fishing. That thing is 3 years old and it hasn't skipped a beat. It still looks brand new. You can wash it in your washing machine. And I think for 30 bucks, I probably brought home 300 pounds worth of fish in it, if not more. And it always kept it cool. I would love to have a Yeti, but Coleman does the job just fine. All right, so let's try top water fishing here, and then we might throw the ultralight rod that I have. Meanwhile, I'm gonna read the chat, what you guys said. Thanks again for hanging out with me. I can't believe you guys all catch those big fish. One day I'll pull in a 20-pound catfish. You can probably hear me in your state when I do. All right, let's. Pretty tight spot here. So Tally, I definitely think there is a chain. I definitely know there's chain pickerel because my friend caught one here. But I've seen, especially at sunset, there's big fish jumping. And like really big fish. I'm talking like bigger than a bass. So I know there's big fish out here. I just don't know how to catch them yet. I'm sure you can catch them with live bait, but catching it with live bait is sort of like breaking the law. Thanks for the likes, by the way, guys. I appreciate it. We did catch a bass right here with my kid, and I think I have a video of it. But yeah, I can't bring live bait. In Jersey, there's like conservation laws where you don't want to bring live bait that's outside of this lake. So I'm only stock fishing with jigs and topwater. But that was cool, guys. I can't believe we caught a bass. I always get very excited when I catch a bass because I usually don't fish for bass. Hold on, let me get in the water a little bit. I'm gonna throw this in and read the chat. When you guys throw top water, do you like to let it just sit on the surface so the waves clear a little bit for like maybe 10 seconds? I'm a good salesman. That's funny. Listen, I'm just a bad biologist. I don't know how to sell anybody anything. Live bait is cheating. Okay, I see your point. And Grumpy Orca caught very little fish in his life with live bait. If you took Arkansas River for blue catfish with shad, nice. Germany, live bait is illegal. You know why it's illegal? It's not because it's easy to catch stuff with. I think it introduces, like, let's say, like if I wanted to be a cheater, and I sometimes don't even know the laws, but I have access to a bunch of goldfish. I can grab a bunch of goldfish, and I can just throw in a cast net and catch them in an outdoor pond. I can get a bunch of goldfish, right? And I can come out here with a bobber, and I can start catching fish. But there's a big no-no about that, because I'm just going to introduce whatever bacteria is in that pond that's standing water. And I'm not saying this is a great pond, but whatever that goldfish has on it is not going to be introduced to this pond. And, you know, like introducing diseases and everything else to this fish is going to it's going to wreak havoc. And then, God forbid, a goldfish gets off the hook. Then a lot of states have a goldfish problem because people release their pets. So that's why I don't go for that stuff. And, you know, as much as it is tempting, because I know if there's a pickerel or pike here, they'll absolutely destroy that goldfish. All right. Let me read the shit. I'm going to cast it out one more time. But the Chapo is a very pretty lure. If you guys don't see what I'm fishing with, I'll show it to you again. But yeah, Germany has tough laws. They don't mess around in Germany. I actually got pulled over in my car in Germany. I'm not going to say much what happened, but yeah, they were not happy. I was a typical Yankee from, New York area. I did have my fireman's ID. I don't know if that worked or not, but if I ever go back to Germany, I'm not speeding there. I'll tell you that. The lady was not happy. And thanks for the likes. I appreciate it. Hey, say hi to Jose Zamudio from Jalisco, Mexico. I like that. I feel like we're in the radio station. It'll motivate you a lot. All right, that's awesome. All right, Jose. I hope you stay fishing. Gale corn. Yeah, a chopper. So there's two ways. You want to really hard to make bubbles and make a sound, and sometimes you want to jerk it. Both ways have worked for me. Oh yeah, corn is a big one for catfish. You know what I like to do? So I don't know if you ever saw my short about. So I have a blender that I use for chum. Whenever I make corn, we do have a lot of corn in the United States, as you guys probably know. We even put it in gas. So whenever I have too much corn at my house, I'll cut it off the cob and I'll mix it into my chum in the blender. And that's why a lot of my chum is basically like that orange color, because it takes on the corn color. All right, you know what? Let's do a little bit of ultralight fishing just for like 10 minutes. I know there's a bunch of schools of crappie here, or crappie. I brought my ultralight with me. Hold on. You guys remember this? Caught 3 bass. Last 3 fish I caught on this were bass instead of panfish. But I enjoy talking to you guys. Thanks for keeping the chat going. It's pretty cool that so many people can just like get together and talk about fish and not argue about politics and other crap. Because I feel like that's what happens every time I drive a person right now. Everyone wants to talk politics in my Uber. Paul Van, I like you. You're like you're giving away so much stuff. I wonder where you get it from. I like the giveaways, but my bad. Drac, we actually have a lot of invasive carp here in Jersey. I know where to catch them, but the only reason I don't try to catch carp on the stream is, first of all, never caught a street carp in my life, so probably not going to be very good at it. And second of all, probably going to be a pretty boring stream. At least today, it's a bit entertaining with the winds and crap falling on the ground, and at least the bass on topwater. I noticed that whenever I go catfishing on this with the stream, it's kind of dead. You're right. There is a time and a place for everything. Oh, he did get all happy. I called him out. All right. Well, listen, Abarka, just keep fishing, man. Oh yeah, you do have a nice Atamaga Shock. You guys. You want me to do a whole day live stream? Yeah, my wife's not gonna be too happy about that. You know, I had a bunch of work. I work too, so I basically have free time between, not free time, but I can stream between 10 and 2:30 p.m. Eastern time in US. Because like this morning, even though it was storming, I was working. I had a lot of job. I had to drive a lot of people to the airport starting at 3 a.m. I thought I wasn't gonna have work, but Newark Airport stayed open. To respond to the guy from South Jersey, you guys have a snakehead problem. And if you catch one, please cook it. Don't put it back. They're probably some of the best eating fish. There's actually a reason the Asian population introduced it. It's not nice that they did that, but they introduced snakehead for a reason. It's a great food source. It's probably some of the best tasting fish there is. So they release them into our waterways illegally. Maryland, Jersey, Delaware, and they go and catch them and eat them. It's like, you know, it's like raising a free chicken in water. But yeah, you have a lot of snakeheads that get caught in South Jersey. Hey, how you doing, Tom? What's going on, man? Tom is from Ireland. He's a good kid. We are in the lake in Jersey. So yeah, Demon, I don't know if Tom, we caught a bass in topwater, but it's been pretty slow. What we're gonna do is, I'm trying to catch some panfish, but for some reason, ever since the storm rolled in, panfish has just been dead. And I'm using, you guys, we went for crappie all together, like last week. We used the same jig, different lake though, and we're just killing them. But today, no such luck. All right, I'm kind of sitting in water. I don't want to get bitten by a snapping turtle. There's a lot of them here. All right, one more cast and then we're going to go back to topwater fishing. Ain't nothing better than topwater fishing. We might actually do some cleaning up today because I do have my backpack. I'm not planning to keep any fish. If I see any beer cans, we'll clean it up, just as a nice thing to do. It's good karma. If you guys want a top tip from Grumpy Orca is, you know, if you have not so nice people dirtying up your local lake or river, yeah, not much you can do, but you can clean up. And you get some karma points. The next thing we're pulling out that big fish, maybe there's a reason for it. All right, let's keep moving. I'm gonna stop talking for a little bit. So by the way, speaking of invasive things, this thing, right, this rosebush, it was actually, it's an invasive, I think it's either Japanese, I don't think it's Chinese. It was brought over here somehow, traveled here with something, maybe like it says a seed, and it has no competition, so it's all over the place. Like you can see it, like it's all over. I think it was introduced to the United States around Jersey, Philly area about 200 years ago. It's nasty. It'll rip up your hands. But it's definitely not natural to the flora and fauna of New Jersey. All right, let's see where we can fish. You know what? I think I can walk out there and do some topwater fishing. Hold on. Or maybe even there. I always joke around that we fish so close to the Trump National in Bedminster that I'm pretty sure there's a Secret Service in the chat. I bet they want to go fishing with me too. That job can be really boring sometimes. All right, hold on. See, that's what's cool about bringing boots. Look, I'm in the water, but if I didn't have boots, I would not be able to penetrate this cover. Look how pretty it is here. Oh yeah, the suckermouth plecos. That's a huge problem in Florida, right? I've seen they're black, right? I've seen people catching and killing them all the time. Let me cast out and wait, and I'll talk to the chat. Hey, what's going on, DCP? How's it going, DCP? I was checking for a video. Well, I guess it didn't go out on a kayak because it was so crazy. Yeah, well, I know I'm probably not too far away from you right now. But yeah, enjoying some foliage. We just caught a bass on a topwater chopper. Let's try to get another one. I'm gonna reel fast. You never know. Maybe I'll get a bass. I'm just gonna pop it. So yeah, my first bass on the chopper after losing the chopper on the live stream last time we fished. I'm still thinking about going back out there and finding it. I was beating myself up the whole day after I lost that. I don't know if you guys have some expensive lures you lost, but yeah, that was a pricey one. We're fishing for anything, Jesse. You want me to reel a little slower? Let's try reeling a little slower. You might be right about this. The water's still not cold. The water dropped about 10 degrees. I'm gonna say the water like I'm standing in right now, and I'm not even one bit uncomfortable. But the water's probably like around the low 70s right now. Probably higher, probably mid 70s. I should bring a thermometer with me one day. I'm just really surprised that the panfish is not biting. But our last trips to this lake, panfish has been pretty slow. So anyways, for the regulars, I'm going to say it again. I bought 10-foot braid that I'm going to put on my baitcaster, and I'm going to embarrass myself live with a baitcaster, probably on Wednesday or Thursday. I'm telling you, when it comes to baitcaster, I think my IQ is lower than this water temperature. It truly is. Like I can't do it with the baitcaster. So I'm just gonna. I guess the only way to learn something is just to keep failing at it. So we're gonna go out and fail some more on Wednesday and Thursday. And if you have the patience to watch me do it, it'd be nice. Yeah. You want me to catch a carp? I know exactly. Oh, DCP, you know where they have carp right now? Have you ever heard of the Duke's Park or Duke Island? Apparently, there's some sort of area there by Ranger Station. My kid went there with his buddy, and his buddy doesn't know how to fish. Let me just be clear. He pulled in a carp that the park ranger was taking pictures with it because he never seen one that big. So I guess there's you definitely know what I'm talking about because you probably fish there. I don't really go fishing there, but Duke Island, I'm gonna get the location for sure because my kid. Oh, hold on. Oh no, we're just jumping over the leaves. Hold on. So my chopper hit a leaf and I thought it was a bite. There's a bunch of leaves there. You can probably see. See those leaves? I hit those and the chopper just jumped on it like as if it got bit, as if it got hit. It was like one of those carbs that are like that leaf color. It was like that dark. It was a darker color, I guess. Is that a mirror carp? I mean, the kid is what, 12, and the fish was almost as big as the kid. Like I said, these kids don't know how to fish, but that's how it usually happens, right? He caught him on the worm. He just went to we went fishing with a worm, and I guess the line on that rod was so heavy that he wrestled it in somehow. I don't know how, but yeah, you know, that's kind of how it works. Two 12-year-old kids go fishing with Walmart rods and pull in like a trophy carp, and like the park ranger was taking pictures with it. I might take you guys there. I'm thinking. I gotta ask my kid if he'll show me. Like, I saw pictures of the spot, but apparently there's a ton of fish there. He told me it's just very hard to land them. So the second cast of the day on the chopper, we got a bass, and now it's been dead. What we're gonna do is we're gonna keep moving. I'm not gonna pan fish if that's okay with you guys, but I'll talk with you. Well. I gotta check out your channel, Paul Van Wolford. What you can do is, it's hard for me sometimes to find channels. Let me print screen you. Maybe I'll find you that way. But if you can leave me just a comment on one of my videos, just so I can find you. We're fishing for either whatever bites top water, either chain pickerel, caught one bass. Catch a bass, I'll be ecstatic. Me and my little kid actually fished on this log. It was in the water in the spring. All right, hold on. Let me pop over here. It's a little overgrown. I really want to do some ultralight fishing, but ultralight fishing is dead today. All right, let me walk out here. Oh, yeah. There's a ton of bait fish in the water, too. The only problem I have here is that it's super shallow here. You guys think there's going to be fish here? It's basically like, it's like 2 feet deep here. I'm just walking in my boots over here. What do you think? Should I go to that log and cast past the log? That might be a good spot. Oh, shit. Grumpy Oracle almost went in. Hold on. Let's check for snapping turtles or any snakes. Give me a second here, boys. I really want to cast over that way, but it's also shallow. Nah, I'm going to come back here. Hold on. The main depth is over there, so eventually we're going to work our way around this lake. But it's super shallow here. I don't think it's a good casting spot. Like you see how far away I'm off the bank? And it's just I'm just walking around in my boots. You fish near the train bridge? I know that spot. Yes, I've never fished there. I've seen people. That's a good spot to catch stock trout, right? By the way, they're stocking trout tomorrow in Jersey. The only place not getting stocked, I think, is Black River because the water levels are so low. They're going to be stocking trout tomorrow, and you don't have to wait for the next day to fish in the fall. You can fish the same day. So if everything lines up, we're going to go fishing on this area for trout. And if they're there, I'm going to hit them. I promise you that. I don't play around when I trout fish. If they're biting, I'll get them in the boat. It's funny, when the chopper hits the leaf, it actually bounces up as if it gets hit by a fish. I don't know if you guys ever experienced this. Whenever your topwater plopper hits a leaf, it pops up like a hit a ramp. It goes like poop, and you think that you're getting hit by a fish. All right, we're gonna let it sit there for a little bit. I got a good spot we're gonna topwater fish right now, and then we might catch another fish if you want to stick around. And thanks for the likes, by the way. I know I'm not catching much, but I say that all the time. Tally. So used to be shoulder to shoulder, but less and less people actually fish. Like young kids are like not as into fishing as they used to be. I always say that kids in Jersey used to love catching and eating eels, and if I, as an adult, tell somebody I fish for eels, people think there's something wrong with me. But what I was gonna say, it's not as on the weekends it gets a little busy, but it's never shoulder to shoulder. If I show up to a well-known trout spot, even in the evening, there's only maybe like 3 or 4 guys there, especially if it's a long walk. I always say the same thing. If you guys want to lose some weight and want to get into fishing, if you catch a lot of fish, go to spots where people don't want to go. A lot of trout fishermen are older, and I'm not knocking them for it, but they will not walk out to those spots. There's a lot of remote spots I know, and the people know them too, but they just can't walk there because it's a good 2-mile walk through like a pretty intense hike. So if you want to catch stock trout, go to places where people are not going to walk with their kids, or they're not going to walk just because they don't want to do the walk. And obviously in those spots, it's very hard to get cell phone service, so might not be able to stream from there. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to go that way. And we're going to slowly fish this lake, and I'll talk to you guys as I walk. I'm getting this thing out of the water. We're going to start walking. But yeah, trout program in Jersey is pretty good. They used to stock brown trout, but they stopped that because they say that brown trout are more prone to diseases and they're not as hardy as rainbow trout. So that they use that verbiage to justify not stocking brown trout. But we're gonna, if they stock rainbows tomorrow, and we're gonna go to a spot that they stocked. If I can get out of my house, if I don't have any jobs, I'll take you guys to a trout fishing spot. I'm not gonna share any trout fishing spots, not because I don't like you guys. I think it's only fair to not blow up spots. If you know me in person, I don't have a problem sharing them, but I don't want to anger a lot of people. I had a guy in the chat when I went to Sandy Hook. Well, he was ridiculous. He was telling me I'm blowing up a spot. And that was a little funny, but still. All right. Oh, nice. Good job, Tom. I got to check out your channel. My favorite place to fish? It's in New Jersey at the... Oh, bye, Bavarian. I'm sorry, I didn't see you leaving, buddy. Thanks for talking to us. We appreciate it. Always good to have somebody from a different country give us a perspective. What I like about this park is you can get your... a dedicated bench in a memory of your family member, and you can also write a quote there. It's pretty cool. All right, let me walk you. Hold on. Yeah, Tom, if we can help you get to 50, Tom's a good kid. Just don't do what my kid did. Make sure you follow YouTube rules. I always say it. I'll use my kid as a bad example, but he's just plays basketball, and he plays basketball about 5 hours a day. And a lot of people watched him play, and he live streamed once, just doing basketball techniques and shooting. And his little brother wandered into the video, and YouTube banned his account. So don't do that, please. He was very upset. It also closed down my Google account, so I'm still fighting with that because that was an email I used. Just make sure you follow all the rules, because YouTube is really gung-ho right now about closing down accounts that are not supposed to live stream. Like I said, I'm not being a Karen. I'm just telling you, my kid got his account closed, and he worked hard to get it. All right, let's fish this spot real quick, just for top water. I have a good feeling about this spot. Let's see, because the water here gets a little deeper, and this chopper makes a lot of noise, so maybe we'll wake up some bass. We were fishing a shallow spot. We're gonna switch to a deep spot. I like the fact that we got people from other countries, because one time a guy from South Korea came in, he never came back, but he gave us some cool info. He basically told us that in South Korea, bluegill and bass are considered invasive, and it's if you catch them, you have to kill them, because they're destroying the native population of fish in South Korea, as the bluegill and bass would do. Damn Yankees. Oh, this is okay. All right. I have a good feeling about this cast. I feel my mojo in this one. Let's go. You never know. I'm gonna go slow, but I can't go too slow. Look at this chopper. Look how pretty it is. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. I wish I could catch a bass like they do it on YouTube videos, but it doesn't always happen, guys. We did catch one here, so they do bite. What is the biggest fish one of you caught on a top water lure like Chapo? I mean, we have to have some people in the chat that caught some big ones. Thank you, Drac. And like I said, I'm sorry if I don't respond to you right away. It's a little tough sometimes to fish and respond. But thanks for those joining us. I just want to show you guys how pretty Jersey can be. It's not all apartment buildings. Look at this thing. And you got the benches and everything. So yeah, don't always knock Jersey. Sometimes we got some pretty spots. It's not all snooky and apartment buildings. And South Jersey, people are so nice there. All right, danger zone. So we're gonna be pulling the chopper over there's some buried trees in the water. I see them now. So hopefully, maybe some rogue bass will hit it. I'm gonna hold my rod properly. You never know, man. And thanks for those that are sticking around to watch this. I know we still haven't had a fish. It's starting to rain a little bit. All right, let me cast that way. How many dead bodies? So far, we only pulled up Snooki in the chat. She's still in my trunk, man. But yeah, in Jersey, you're not wrong about it. You know, sometimes people take care of business different ways than in other states. Forget about it, you know, kid. Sometimes people get on your nerves. They go sleepy with the fishes, if you know what I'm saying. But only if they deserve it. Ah. That was a good cast. Holy crap. All right. Man, I want to get one more fish. How did we catch that? I caught a largemouth on the second cast, and now we got nothing. Let's do one more and switch the spot. And I'll actually try the ultralight a couple of casts. Hold on. Gotta let it drift a little bit. Read the chat. Well, if you can't go today, go fishing tomorrow. If you gotta take a day off, just give him my name. If anything, I'll vouch for you. I'll tell him you're a good kid. Thanks for the likes, guys. That's very nice of you. Let me respond to people in the chat while I'm waiting. Hold on. Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm not a homeless person fishing. I do have a job. It just coincides with the fact that I can't work full time right now because of my big accident. It's like I probably have like 2 months of freedom, where I usually work during the day too as a driver. But if there's any professional drivers in the chat, you guys will know that by 9 a.m. all your driving, if you're driving the business people or whatever, people to the flights, all of your work is between 3 and 9 a.m. After that, as a driver, you can still be out there, but you're going to get some rogue customers. But you're basically going to be sitting there for 7 hours on the app or like waiting for somebody to call you. And you're going to get no jobs. So, yeah, when I was driving here, I saw a guy sitting in a Cadillac Escalade waiting for a ping from Trump's golf course in Bedminster. And I know I'm going to be going home in 3 hours and that dude's still going to be sitting there. And I know that for a fact. So I'd rather take you guys fishing. Rod and reel. This is actually my kid's ocean rod and reel. I know some people heard it already. It's a Daiwa BG MQ 3000D. I think it's about $200. It's not my rod. It's my kid's reel. And a rod is a Tsunami Airwave Elite Series 7.5 footer. Actually, a super nice rod. I think it's like $100. My kids have nicer stuff than I do because my father-in-law is a very, very good fisherman. He doesn't like to buy them cheap stuff. But yeah, I like it. We usually take it this fluke fishing, but you can do topwater on it too. It's almost like a bass rod. Yeah, because you figure saltwater rods, it kind of makes sense because you don't want to take freshwater rods to saltwater, especially you don't want to take a reel. Once you drop it in the water, you're donezo. But saltwater stuff is so hardcore and so well made. It's basically almost like, it's protected from the elements that, you can definitely use it, especially if you have a good setup. This rod is just really good for everything. I have a St. Croix Triumph rod that I use also. But for some reason, I really like this setup. I know my kid might watch this video like 5 years from now, yell at me for using it, but he hasn't been fishing since the school started. That's why you see me out here with his rod. I take good care of it though. All right, let's go to a different spot real quick. And I have my Ultralight Daiwa Presso. But Ultralight has been really tough in the past 4 days. It was absolutely crazy how much fish we caught before the storm rolled in on Ultralight, and now we're just sucking wind. We're fishing in New Jersey. How you doing, Marietta? How you doing, guys? It's gonna be like about a minute walk. Yeah, when you take your stuff, SB Bros, so I've done that too. Especially I've done that when my kids were just getting of that age. That was a mistake on my part. But you can do it, you just can't drop your reel or get any sand on it. Like if you catch a fish, you have to handle the fish in a way. If you catch a fluke, it just kicks up all the sand on you. If it kicks up the sand on a freshwater reel, salt and sand, like that reel is going to be compromised right there and that. So think of it like a Cinderella. Once you take it saltwater fishing, if it's a freshwater setup, once you get the salt and sand on it, it's done. You might as well fish with a pumpkin. I don't want to go there. It's a little tight over there. Hold on, guys. No, we're just switching spots. Look, this park is so nice. It's just like I've never seen people here. And it's just so cleared out. All right, we're about to go in. Maybe another 30 seconds, I'll take you. Like I literally see a bowl down there. Like, why is there a bowl? What the hell are people doing? Hold on. Yeah, see? That's what happens. This is how people treat Jersey. You see that? Cans, bowls, water bottles, more cans. That's what you get here. All right, I'll try to take these home because I do have a backpack with me today. I'm probably gonna. Actually, I'll take them home right now as soon as we're done fishing the spot. Fishing line, look. Yeah, somebody had some beers, did some fishing, and went home. Worms right there in the tree. That's great. Hope you had a good time fishing. Or she, probably a he though. Look. All right, let's make sure that's not a poison ivy line. This is crazy. See this? You want me to try my luck with the Ultralight? Let's do it. You know what we're gonna do actually? Let's throw on a gulp minnow because those might work better here. I just hope I don't get hit by a fallen tree. Hold on. I'm actually gonna clear out my pack and I'm gonna throw these cans inside since I'm not taking any fish home obviously today. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go with that gulp minnow, watermelon pearl. And we're gonna throw it in a Daiwa Presso. This is also I like this a lot. This is what we fished last week. But for some reason it's not working right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this off. It's a Strike King lightning shad and salt and pepper on a jig head with the underspin. And the underspin works for me. So yeah, if you guys don't like ultralight fishing, I hope it's okay I do some. So might get something. So yeah, the way I fish gulp minnows, I just throw them on a jig head. And that's all she wrote. Cast them out there. Gulp minnows are great for trout. If people from Jersey or New York or PA are still here, try gulp minnows for trout. I catch 80% of my trout on gulp minnows. And any size, really. I caught my PB Rainbow 4-pounder on exactly the same setup. It was just a black jig head, just like this. Wow, it's really picking up. I hope you guys can hear me. All right. No promises. Let's try it. So yeah, I'm fishing with a Daiwa Presso and Daiwa Legalis LT1000 with a 4-pound line. We're just gonna yeet it out there and let it drop and play around with it. There is a lot of buried trees in this lake, so we might hit a snag. That's why I don't like fishing here because there's a lot of underwater surprises. You never know, I might get a bass. So I'm just gonna let it drop to the bottom and just kind of jig it off the bottom. Meanwhile, I'll check the chat. Yeah. So once I'm done fishing here, I'm gonna, before we leave this place, I made a decision. I'm just gonna clean up all this crap again. Every time I come to this spot, oh, this branch just came down. Hold on. Every time I come to the spot, for some reason, there's dudes that come here on the weekend. Well, it's usually like that. They always leave crap around. Always. It's like clockwork. There's a berry tree right there. That's why I really don't want to cast too close to it. Oh, jeez. It is a little windy. Just a little bit windy. Oh, strike, fish. We got one, boys. Let's go. Oh, ain't no small fish, baby. How you doing today? Okay. I'm sounding a little too harsh for you. We got us a crappie. Grumpy Orc, I'll put you on the fish. We got us a crappie, boys. I thought it was a bass, man. How you doing? What's going on, kid? Look at this guy. Okay, no offense to you, but I do not eat fish. Look how big the eye is. I don't eat fish from this body of water for several reasons. They hit it with pesticides, and yeah. Either way, we're gonna release you. Don't worry about it. It's a beautiful crappie. Nice fish. Look at that. All right, how you doing? I can get a like for that one. I appreciate it. All right, let's let him go. So yeah, sometimes you got to switch out from Topwater to Ultralight and get you a crappie. I swear, if I was homeless, I'd probably be able to feed myself just with crappie. I catch so many of them. And they're good eating fish too. Oh. Thanks, guys. So yeah, all I do, for some reason, so in the spring, I really like to use a bobber for crappie fishing to drag it over the crappie bass. Those who fish for crappie, you know that in Jersey, New York in March, they're relentless because it's like their spawning time. But for some reason, towards the end of the summer and towards the fall, I call it psychedelic jigging, but I actually let it drop to the bottom and I just do these with the ultralight. And I just do these jigs where I'll just, for some reason it works because crappie usually doesn't like to do that. Okay, we aren't fish, boys. Okay, that's not a fish. I told you I was gonna lose it. So I never lost a jig head on this rod yet. But I just lost one now. That's not a fish. Look at the bend in this thing. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm gonna lose that jig head. That's what I hate about this place. Ah, that sucks. All right, let me just accept the fact that I'm gonna lose it. Don't like losing gear. Wait, hold on. I'm pulling something out, boys. How we doing? I don't think that's a fish, though. There's no way that's a fish. There's no way that's a fish. Oh, man, how you doing today? Look at that. See, that's why we don't fish here. Look at this. We're pulling something out. I thought it was Snooky for a second. I don't want to be dealing with Bedminster PD today. Look what I pulled up. See on this little ultralight? Look how ultralight bends. That's why you gotta get your ultralight. All right. Well, that's the biggest fish of the day for sure. Let's put him in the cooler. Hold on. Hold on. Look at this thing. Yeah? It's at least a 4-footer. Alright. So that was, hopefully that was just as entertaining for you as it was for me. I thought I lost my jig head. That's why I got so excited. Once it started moving up, I was like, there's no way that's a fish because it doesn't fight back. So I figured it was a branch. Alright. As long as it's not a body, we're having a good day. I think if you fish long enough in Jersey, you're gonna probably catch some kind of body. Anyways, yeah. I had that crazy laugh going because I'm just happy I got my jig head back. So I actually reeled it out on a 4-pound line, which is pretty impressive. The line I'm using is actually a Zuri, a 4-pound hybrid between a monoline and a fluorocarbon. It's pretty cheap. I think you can get 250 yards for about $7-8 at Dick's Sporting Goods. Walmart doesn't sell it for some reason. All right. All right. Thanks for the kind words, Camille. Yeah. That branch was definitely a 3 or 4 pounder. I tell you now. That's why I really don't like fishing here, because it always happens to me. It just happened today that I was able to reel it out. If I caught its bigger brother, I'll be losing the jig head. I don't mind losing jig heads. I just don't like reordering them on Amazon because I forget. You know, and I don't have a million. I don't mind losing trout magnet jig heads for sure, but sometimes the more obscure jig head might not be for sale again. Let's throw it up the current. So we caught a crappie, which is pretty nice. Thank you. Thanks for wishing me good luck. I appreciate it. Oh, we're almost at 100. Almost at 100 likes. That's cool. I'm so nerdy about the likes, man. Oh, fish! Let it drop. Oh man, just lost it. I'm not sure if that was a bass or it hit it on the drop. That might have been either a bass or a crappie. Sorry about that one. Let's see if you had a friend out there. It's just I'm casting right around this piece of tree. I really don't like doing that. Fish! Oh, we got, ah, crap. Okay, hold on. There's fish around here. That was another one. Maybe that was his buddy. Let's just let it drop. Sometimes just let it drop. It's the only problem is there's a log here. That's probably a bluegill. Let's let it drop. There's jig it. There's a tree right there, so I'm jigging it right next to the tree. Hold on. So that was 2 bites right on the drop here. I'm gonna say it's probably a bluegill or a tiny dinky bass. Let's drop it again. It's that underspin when you jig it. Okay, there's fish here. I'm gonna catch it. Give me a sec. When you jig it off the bottom with that underspin, with this thing, that's what I'm talking about. There's something about it, because I fished a million. You see this little spinny things, the underspin? There's something about that underspin that gets the fish's attention. Because I fish a lot of jigs back to back, and this one always gets more fish. Now let's drop it around this log and give it the old psychedelic twitch. See, I just twitch it. I guess they figured it out. But I did have 2 good bites. All right, one more time. Yeah, crappie, absolutely. That's why a lot of guys, you see the videos on TikTok, they'll make a fake tree with like PVC pipe. And, hold on. They'll make like a fake tree with a PVC pipe and bring it out on a boat and throw it somewhere, and then they'll mark the spot and they'll come back fishing for it, right? I've seen those. I respect that. Even though it's a bit polluting, but if it's their lake, who cares? It's a bit of pollution going on, but whatever. At least they're good kids. As long as they're good kids, who knows than that? I actually was considering doing something like that, but I don't have a private body of water to do that in. Yeah, definitely try a underspin. You can just, if you just Google, not Google, go on Amazon. I might get a crappie over there because I think that's where the last one came from. If you just Google jig head underspin, and I really like the black or white color. I don't care about the pink ones too much, but I fish in Jersey. I actually have more luck with black than white. We're just jigging off the bottom right now. You don't have to jig it hard. I feel like I had a little bite. Hold on. I'm gonna do 5 more minutes of this, and we're gonna switch up to Topwater. It's a super tight spot to cast. I mean, I have like trees all over, but thanks for staying in the chat and thanks for likes. Appreciate it. All right. Hopefully I didn't cast on the tree branch. Give me a sec, guys. I might have to retrieve a little faster because there might be trees there. It's kind of where I grabbed that crappie from before. I don't know why. But the way I fish for crappie is, especially in the spring, I use floats. I cast it out to where I see any sort of seaweed or whatever grows where they can hide, and you don't have to even put it. You can put it maybe 12, 20 inches off the bobber, and you slowly reel it over that cover, and they just come up and eat it. Springtime, they're super aggressive. Hold on. Last week we caught a bunch. We limited out on crappie twice, using the same technique, just dropping it to the bottom and jigging it. Okay, fish. No, was that a fish? Hopefully. I don't know why. Maybe I should change out my jig head. Maybe I gotta check my hook. Hold on. Maybe after catching that tree, something happened. I'd say that's the third fish I lost, and I usually don't lose fish on these. I mean, it's not as sharp as I want it to be. But it'll still poke a fish. I don't know. Let's try it again. Maybe I'm just crazy. It's not as sharp as a gamakatsu hook for sure, but I mean, crappie is really not that crazy hard to catch. Yes, that is a Daiwa Presso, not a Presso Air, just a regular Presso. I actually made a short about it. It's probably the prettiest rod you can get for the money, under 200 bucks. I like it. It's a lot of fun. It's not as sensitive as I like it to be at the tip, because I really like to twitch for fish. Like, especially when I'm doing this, just like slight twitches. Sometimes you don't know if you have a fish or not for the first couple of seconds. If it's fish or seaweed. Nope. Okay, I twitched myself into a tree again. Oh, this one, I don't think this one's not coming off. I think my luck ran out with the last tree we caught. Maybe it's a good time to lose that jig head and put on a sharper one. Sorry, guys. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna break it off, and we're gonna fish with the Topwater here. That's a good spot to fish for Topwater. Oh wait, it came out. Okay, I think Grumpy Work, I need to buy a lottery ticket today. Yeah, Grumpy Water, I need to load up on them lottery tickets today. That's the second time I got my jig head back. Lucky today. Last cast with the Ultralight. We're just gonna let it sink and let the current take it. And then we'll do some topwater fishing. I'll read the chat while you... Yeah, Renee, like I said, it is a Presso rod. It's a good rod. My all-time favorite rod for the money is still by far that Shakespeare Micro Series. I think you can get it on Amazon right now for $21. But it has a nice reel paired to it. It's a Daiwa Presso LT1000. I think it's a 2023 model. I love my Legalis. If you pair Legalis with a Micro Series 7-footer by Shakespeare, you're basically in for $110. And I think you cannot do better for $110 because the Shakespeare Micro Series rod punches way above its weight. It's more like a $60, $70 rod for 20 bucks. And Daiwa Legalis LT1000 is almost feels like a $200 rod. So you get a $300 combo for 100 bucks. That's the way I see it, or at least that's the way I sell it to myself. All right, let's put the Presso away. Oh man, it's a little windy today. Now let's do the Chapo. So we caught one fish on this today. Let's see if we can. It's a bone Chapo, 75 millimeters by Berkeley. Small one. Hope I'm not boring you guys to death. That's why I just keep talking. At least I'll give you some advice if you're new to the channel. So I'm just gonna let the let's see. I got to be careful tossing it along the along the tree line, because the wind's just gonna throw my the wind will throw my line right into the trees, and then I'm not losing my chopper on live stream again. I did that last live stream. I'll let it sit there. Yep. All right, the wind died down a little bit. Let me toss it a little bit along the. I'm gonna let it bounce up and down in the waves for a little bit. Are you also from Jersey? Nice. Yeah, it's 159. Daiwa Pro X. Oh, Shimano Stratic is a nice reel. Drac, I appreciate that advice. I'm actually going to print screen that. What I like to do is I'll print screen all the advice from people, and I have a little folder on my phone. I'm not a creeper, don't worry, but I'm not I don't consider myself to be like, I'm just an amateur fisherman. I'm not even mid-level, so I mean, maybe a little better than a beginner. So when people give me advice, I always save it. I appreciate that. I'm going to check that hook for sharpness for sure. I think I'm going to actually come home and switch it out with a new one. I did catch a ton of fish on that jig head. Is it true that fish bite harder on top water when it's wavy and like weather's like this? Is that true, guys? Can somebody say? Because I've been told that, but I'm not sure how true that is. We're fishing. I'm fishing. I don't want to tell exactly where I'm fishing, but I'm fishing in Somerset County, pretty close to Trout National. Look at this chopper. So much action. All right, now I'm getting my line stuck. Hold on, guys. Let me whip it one time and not make a mistake. Kind of not killing the stream quality. Thanks again for the likes. I appreciate it, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna repeat myself, but second cast of the stream on this, we had a bass, and for the last, I'm gonna say 40-50 casts, I got nothing. Okay, that's a dangerous cast. Somerset County has some good fishing, but definitely not as good as Round Valley and all those areas. High Bridge. Which county is High Bridge? I forgot. High Bridge is like the mecca of fishing for Central Jersey. Somerset County is like decent, but it's nothing to write home about. But if you know the spots, you can have fun. It's great for trout fishing when they stock it. Raritan River is kind of fun to catch smallmouth bass on. You can also catch stripers in the Raritan River if you know where to go. 247 people in chat. How you doing, guys? I appreciate the love. Once again, we're fishing New Jersey. And so far only 2 fish. One on Ultralight and one on the Topwater today. All right. let's take a break from this. I'm gonna change the spot. Before I change the spot, I do have one spot I want to throw my ultralight in. We're gonna do a little cleanup real quick. I got a couple of beer cans I want to take home with me because people that fished this spot before us were not as nice. I'm gonna wash my backpack today anyway, so might as well fill it out with crap. Like, look, there's even fishing line on a, like, I don't know if you can see this. Like, how do you get fishing line stuck in a tree stump? I don't get it. Explain that to me. All right, so I feel like there's going to be a couple of bluegills here. I'm just going to toss this here a couple of times, and we're going to be topwater fishing again, probably less than 10 minutes. Thanks for the love from the chat. All right, let's just... Because again, if you do want to like the stream, you can double tap the screen. That rhymes. So I'm just bobbing it up and down. I have a good feeling about that spot right there. All right, hold on. I'm also going to show you guys a super nasty poison ivy worm that's on that tree. You see that? I don't know how many of you are not from the United States. If you have this, if you ever touch that, you touch that with your bare skin, you're going to the hospital. You're going to lose all your skin. I mean, you're not going to go to the hospital that day, but once it hits you, and God forbid you touch your face after you touched it, oh, you're going to be like face off. That stuff, that mossy stuff called poison ivy right there, that will burn your face off if you get it on your face. It's just going to be, you're going to look like one of those Halloween characters or Walking Dead. That stuff is so nasty, and I've got it so many times. Not in the bad way, but that right there is that's a crazy vine. Let me show it to you. Hold on. That is a crazy one. You see this? That right there is bad news. Never touch that. There's a lot of it in Jersey. That's what keeps a lot of people from going fishing. And ticks. Lyme disease is still a big problem in Jersey. All right, I'm just kind of nestled myself into a spot. All right, one more cast. We're gonna move. The weather's picking up a little bit. I don't want to be out here for too long. I just want to clean up a little bit. Maybe catch a panfish. And we're gonna be gone. Like, I know there's big bluegill here. I just don't know. Hold on. It's really hard to cast from here. 1 second, guys. Alright, that's a decent cast. My line is kind of to the left. Alright. Let's move. Ew, so windy. Look at that big hole. I wonder what lives there. Almost looks like a bear home. Hold on. Gotta be careful with this crap. Look at that. All right. So I'm gonna throw my chest back on. I'm gonna throw a couple of cans in that back that people left behind. And if you stick with me for the next, I don't know, 2 minutes, we'll be back fishing. Maybe less. Water here. 1 1 second, guys. All right, so let's see what we got. We got Bud Light. Hope you enjoyed that one. We got the old favorite Corona. Oh, no, not a Corona. What else we got? We got a water bottle. We're cleaning up New Jersey. Coming to you live, guys. God damn it. Let's see what else we got. We got a little Modelito. We got a bottle of water. Like, why would you just come here and throw this crap around? I wonder if these people even use the bathroom. They just poop everywhere. All right. I got Arizona. All right, that's good enough for a stream cleanup. There you go. Was it that hard? I'm gonna throw this paper towel over it so it doesn't touch my stuff. All right. Off we go. Cleaned up a little bit. Always bothers me when people do this crap, but the only thing I can do is clean up after them. All right, let's keep moving. Oh, you can grab that poison ivy and rub it in your body and nothing happens? Well, Union County, no, I've never fished Union County. I live in Somerset County, and I can't go fishing far because of the way I work, and I'm the primary caretaker of my children. So yeah, but I heard Union County has some great fishing spots. I used to live in Middlesex County, which is not too far away. Matthew, I mean, I don't know what you're trying to say. I clean up everything. But I guess, listen, to each his own. I always make it a point to clean up my fishing spots after people that litter there. And on my street, it's always perfectly clean. I'm telling you, I swear by it. If you pick up trash after other people when you're fishing, your luck turns on. I swear by it. Goose, the Colorado River is awesome, man. I went whitewater rafting around Moab in Utah. And I tried fishing there, but the river there is super muddy and super cold. How you doing, Frank Poncet? Je suis français. Well, we're in New Jersey, man. We don't speak much French, but we can try. I'm walking right next to 206. All right, this is the last spot we're gonna fish. We're gonna try this spot for 15 minutes. Top water. Maybe we'll try some ultralight. Should we try ultralight first for 3 minutes? Let's try that. Thanks for the likes, guys. I appreciate it. This spot is actually clean today, which is nice. I think last time on the stream we cleaned this spot up. All right. Hold on. 1 second, guys. All right, let me put you up. Okay. We should have luck. Let's try top water first for that big boy bass. Well, any bass, really. I'm just gonna cast it out in the middle, wait a little bit, and reel it in. Okay, maybe no luck yet, I'm sorry. Hold on. This is a good casting spot, as long as I don't end up in the water. I'm just gonna try to reel a little slower. Wow. The winds are crazy. Nice, David. Bluegill is really good eating. I like crappie better, or crappie, but bluegill is. Actually, one time I had so much bluegill, my dad and I salted it and dried it, and we used it as I don't know if it would we made like fish jerky out of it, and that was really good with beer. We had so much of it. I like bluegill. I just pan fry it whole. I clean it up. I cut the head off, take the guts out, cut the fins off, and dip it in flour, salt, and pepper. It makes for a nice fish fry. How you doing, Frank? Yeah, we caught a slow retrieve. All right, let's try a slow retrieve. But this is a whopper plopper. All right, let's do a slow retrieve. How about that? Is this good? I can pop it a little bit. I am using a Chapo, maybe. Last fish I caught here, when I first started fishing today, I caught it on a pretty fast retrieve. But let's try a slow retrieve. All right, let's try casting to the right. I'm really afraid of casting to the right because look at all that crap over there. All right, let's try it. Oh, yep. Grumpy Orca doing what Grumpy Orca does best, getting stuck. That's why I don't use baitcasters. Hold on. I can actually get this one out. I always tell you, when it comes to fishing like this, my IQ is usually lower than the temperature of the water. Hold on, we're almost out. Thank God for braid. Almost out of the woods. All right, we're gone. Let me walk into the water a little bit. Hopefully there's no snappers around. Oh, bluegill are absolutely fantastic eating, especially if you get them from a clean water. Like I would not eat bluegill from here, mostly because there's really, like this lake, it gets quite stale during the summer. And the bluegills we catch here, they're big, but I wouldn't eat it from here. But if you got a clean source bluegill, man, they're good. The only fish I'll take over bluegill for freshwater is crappie. And actually 12, 13-inch largemouth bass are very good eating. But it's like a big taboo thing nowadays to eat bass. All the old timers ate bass up until the 90s. Franklin said, "You think I'm a good fisherman?" I just made my topwater lure a Christmas ornament. You saw that? But I appreciate the kind words. I'm very, very bad with doing a back cast. Mostly because I always have that anxiety of casting it into the weeds. So I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to reel slower. We're just going to reel slower. We're going to cast it all over the place. Yeah, that's a topwater fishing lure, Ken. No, I got it, Franklin said. No problem, man. I respect the kind words. Thank you very much. You guys have some expensive lures in France. All right, let me try a couple more casts with topwater. I'll do slow retrieve like you guys suggested. And then we'll do some ultralight fishing and call it a day. Really want to go over to that spot right there and cast from there with topwater. Let's see. It's not that far away. Oh, that's exactly how I lost my topwater last time. Grumpy Orca. Doing what Grumpy Orca does best. Looking like a total idiot. All right, let's look. All right, let's do one more cast along the line here. It's a pretty mesmer. I'm thinking I'm the only one getting excited about this thing out of this whole lake. All right, one more time. Where should I cast it? All right, let's try it again. Nice and slow, like you guys suggested. You see a big bass? I just need more likes. Once I cross 150 likes, the fish is gonna start biting. We already collected all the trash for good luck. I don't know why it's not working. It must be a 150 like stream today. I'm just kidding. So let's sit out there. But yeah, the sensation of getting a top water catch, what happened to me today, is totally worth doing this for 2-3 hours. I know it's probably not the best for keeping people in the stream, but once you get that top water catch, all the time you spend doing it is totally worth it. All right, one more cast, and I'm going to ultralight. Oh, hey, DCP, did you hear that guy went missing on Sandy Hook yesterday? There's a club of people that like to do, what is it, kite surfing? Like you see those guys if you go to Sandy Hook sometimes. They'll be like jumping around and stuff. So apparently a dude went missing yesterday. And I'm assuming that he's probably didn't make it. They're not gonna find him alive. Like the water at Sandy Hook right now is absolutely insane. I've seen pictures. It's pushing a lot of water. And I don't think that guy's gonna make it out. They were looking for him as of 10, 12 hours ago, if not more. Kind of sucks, but you know, you take a risk when you go, you know, whenever I ride my motorcycle, I take a risk of some idiot taking me out. But wind kite surfing is pretty tough, super dangerous. And plus the water's getting colder. Let me cast in ultralight just a couple of times, not to bore you. Anybody in the chat does kite surfing? Eddie, I haven't fished in Union County, no. Nice and slow like apple pie. I like that. We did catch a crappie today on Ultralight. I had a couple more fish that I lost. I think I got to change out my jig head. All right, ladies and gentlemen, one more cast for Ultralight, and we're gonna switch up our spot one last time. Fish for 5 minutes, and Grumpy Orca needs to run, get his children. Oh, a little windy today. But DCP, we didn't get as much rain as we were expected to get, which kind of sucks. I really wanted to rain hard. This way we can have some good trout fishing going in. They're gonna start stocking the streams tomorrow, but I'm not sure. Like, it's basically gonna be all guys sitting around a couple of holes fishing for stock trout. It's not gonna be all over the river. Kind of takes the fun out of it. Thanks for the likes again, guys. I appreciate it. All right, let's do one last switch up and fish for 5 more minutes with Topwater and be done. Hold on, let it drop. Yeah, bite is slow today, as it always is at this lake. At least caught some fish. All right, let's switch up real quick. Jeez. Okay, here we go. Look at that rooster. All right, let's do it real quick. Where's Void Outdoors in the chat? Hey, what's going on, Void Outdoors? I'm having a decent day. Didn't lose a Chapo today. I guess that's a good day. We're about to finish fishing. I think I fish for another like 5 minutes tops. And then I gotta run back to my car. But I'm not fishing in Crocs today, and I'm not cold, and I didn't lose a Chapo. So far so good. I'm gonna try to catch you a crappie right now real quick, because I know there's a school of crappie I catch here every spring. Let me try a couple of casts, and then I'll cast the Topwater, and we'll call it a day, boys and girls. Let me walk out here. Yeah, I know there's a school of crappies that sometimes lives there. Let me try this, but only in the spring for some reason. I got what they like. Perfect cast. Let's see. Nah, nothing. All right. Let me try again. All right, even better cast. We were just fishing right there. Switched up a little bit. Now let me cast to the left. No, we're not trout fishing, just to respond to somebody. We might be trout fishing tomorrow, though. It's going to be a surprise. If it's going to be trout fishing, it's going to be tomorrow around the same time. I don't know if they're going to stock. They're supposed to stock tomorrow and over the next week. I just don't know if the spot. I need to find a spot that has coverage, and hopefully it'll be stocked by the time I go fishing there. So yeah, there's a couple of factors involved. But if they do stock, we'll do a trout fishing stream, and you're usually pretty good with catching trout. But who knows? Hey, you from Kazakhstan? Nice. It's land of Borat. Foxes, you move over here. You let me know when you're here. We'll go fishing. It's a little hard right now. Very hard to come to America right now, as of the last year. Oh man, Void, you guys are getting hit on the other coast too? That's crazy. Yeah, we have a storm going on right now, technically, but it's not that bad. All right, one more cast with Ultralight if I get nothing. You enjoy the stream? I don't know. One guy got to me at this stream. The guy that said, or I think it's a guy that said that when I was cleaning up somebody else's beer cans for some karma points for fishing, the guy was like, "Yeah, sure, you clean up the spots, but you never clean up in front of your house or your school." I'm like, "Really? That's a little strange." But maybe I shouldn't take that personally. Otherwise, it's a pretty relaxing place. I'm going to take you trout fishing if you join me tomorrow. But no guarantee yet. If they stock the spot, I'll take you. I can fish tomorrow between... If I don't get any last-minute jobs for my clients, I can fish tomorrow between... I'm talking about Eastern time in New Jersey, between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. There's a high chance I'll be fishing live. So if you want to join me, I'll try to catch you a trout if they stock it. Oh, sheesh. All right, so last couple of minutes of fishing. Let's do this. Let's heat it across. Let it sit there for a while. It's the most relaxing stream on YouTube. Hey, I appreciate this. I might have to print screen this just to show it to my 13-year-old who always talks crap about my fishing channel. And it's funny because I take his friends from his basketball team fishing, and they're like, "We went fishing with his dad and we caught a fish and this." And my kid's like, "My dad doesn't know how to fish." People always yell at him on YouTube. I appreciate that. It's really nice to hear, man. I know I talk a lot, but I got some serious ADHD. I can't shut up. Okay. That's a good spot right there. We're just going to let it sit there for a little bit. I really got to run home, but maybe 2-3 more casts. We're going to go slow like you guys told me. All right, let's do it again. It's really hard to cast. If you look up, you see the trees are right next to me. I'm going to move a little bit. Hopefully not attract a snapping turtle. Those snapping turtles can be pretty aggressive. A buddy of mine had a fish on a stringer. He was trout fishing. The snapping turtle just came up to him in the water while he was fishing. He was in the water in waders. He had fish on a stringer. He just came up to him and stole a fish from him. I did not care about anything. Now, like, are you going to fight the snapping turtle for your fish? Not really. Those things, when they're big enough, they can snap your finger off. And they're vicious, too. They're like the Karen of the lake. Look at this thing. So pretty. There's a guy with a video like this doing that, and a pike comes up and just badonks it. But not going to happen in my stream, right? Oh, no. Oh, look at that. Perfect cast. Thanks, Drac. I appreciate it. You want me to pause it? 3 seconds. Favorite fish to catch today probably would be a bass or a pickerel. My all-time favorite fish to catch is fluke, because me and fluke We have a relationship. I can never catch a keeper for the past year or so. And I don't count the ones I caught off the boat. All right, you know what? Somebody told me to wait 3 seconds. Let's make that last cast. We're going to listen to the guy. Hold on. He's going to yeet it out there. It's my last cast, guys. Now, look what I'm standing in. All right. We're going to reel it slow, wait. Oh, you want me to wait for 3 seconds? I don't know. Should I jig it a little bit? Thanks for the likes. I appreciate it once again. It's very nice of you guys. All right, one last cast. I'm just gonna reel it fast, just for fun, and we'll be done. Like I said, tomorrow I'll be around. Okay, that's it. Just gonna let it sit there for a couple of seconds. Yes, I've seen videos of people catching those aggressive catfish, and they always come up like a monster from under the log, right? I don't know what countries they catch those in, but that's definitely not New Jersey, man. What I was gonna say. Yeah, there are some crazy videos. It's like a guy sits in his kayak and he does this with a rod. He just like does the whopper plopper like literally right next to himself, and that thing comes in and just goes bam. And it's a pretty cool video. Like I told you, that's definitely not New Jersey, and that's definitely not gonna happen to Grumpy Orca on the stream. But Grumpy Orca might cast whopper plopper in the tree and say some short words, but that's all you're gonna get from me. All right, last retrieve. I'm just gonna go fast because I think that's how I got my first bass. All right, I don't mean to disappoint anybody. Okay, how about this? I was looking at the spot to the right of me. Oh, it's perfect cast for me. Let it sit there. It's literally right under the tree. It's right there. Hold on. I'm just gonna retrieve fast. Because I think that's exactly how I caught my first fish. You never know. All right, ladies and gents. Yeah, if you like this, I appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words. It was really very rewarding to make a stream and people say they liked it. I want to thank you. Oh wow, I look like a mobster. Hey, how you doing? You want to put some bodies in the water, kid? Go and get it done. I'll see you guys tomorrow, maybe, and maybe we'll go trout fishing. And I appreciate all of you. Thanks for the kind words. And go out fishing if you can. Take it easy.